Once upon a time on a lovely sunny day, Alice and her sister went out for a walk in the countryside. They got to a field near a little stream. After a while her sister sat under a tree and read a book. Alice soon got a little bit bored. Suddenly she saw a white bunny that seemed to be in a real hurry. She was curious, so she followed the bunny. The bunny dived through a hole in a tree trunk. Alice followed him. Next thing she knew, she was falling down a very deep tunnel underground. Then she landed with a little bump on a pile of soft leaves. She got up and saw a long corridor and started to walk down it. There were lots of locked doors on either side. Suddenly the bunny disappeared. She saw a little golden key on a table that fitted a small door behind a curtain. She opened the door and saw a beautiful forest. But she was a bit too big to fit through the door. Then Alice saw a little bottle on the table. On the label it said, "Drink me." She took the top off and drank the potion. Then she started to shrink. She got small enough to get through the little door. Then she saw the bunny again. The bunny asked her to bring his gloves from his house. Alice was always a helpful girl, so she said okay. Off she went to the bunny's house. She found his gloves and then she saw another bottle of potion on the table. The label said, "Drink me," so she drank it. Suddenly she grew bigger and bigger and bigger. She got so big that all the animals nearby thought she was a giant. They started throwing stones at the house. But here's a funny thing. The stones they threw turned into little cakes. Alice nibbled on a cake. Then she started to shrink. She went out of the bunny's house. She was a bit upset because she was now too small. Then she saw another amazing sight. It was a blue caterpillar sitting on a mushroom. She asked the caterpillar how she could get back to her usual size. The caterpillar said that if she had a little bite of one side of the mushroom she would grow and the other side would make her shrink. So, she had a nibble from both sides and then she came back to her usual size. Alice walked along a little path. The next thing she saw was a cat with a great big smile. She politely asked the cat his name and where the path went. "A Cheshire Cat," said the Cheshire Cat, "and the path leads to the Mad Hatter and the March Hare." Then, as if by magic, bit by bit, the Cheshire Cat slowly disappeared. Alice then found the March Hare, who was having tea with the Mad Hatter under a tree. A dormouse was fast asleep in between them. "No room. No room," they cried out when they saw Alice coming. Alice was cross because she could see there was plenty of room. So, she sat down at one end of the table. The Mad Hatter asked Alice, "Can you bing bong a splendor dog?" Alice said, "Oh my, you are silly and a very Mad Hatter. I think I'm going to leave now." Alice walked off. Down the path she saw a tree with a door. She found a golden key, which opened the door to a beautiful garden. The Queen of Hearts had ordered her guards to paint all the white roses red, as she didn't like white roses. The strange thing was that all the guards looked like playing cards. The Queen arrived and invited Alice to play croquet. Alice was shocked to see that hedgehogs were being used as balls and flamingos were being used as mallets in the game. The Queen got bored and went back to her court. A Jack of Hearts had stolen a pie from the Queen's kitchen. The King yelled out, "Call the first witness." Just then, Alice started to grow again. The Queen of Hearts asked Alice to tell everything she knew about the pie. "But I don't know anything," Alice said. The Queen yelled, "You don't know? You don't know? Send her to prison." Alice thought that was very unfair and she was getting cross. And then the King, the Queen and all the playing cards started flying all round Alice, whizzing around and around and around and around. Alice opened her eyes. She was back in the field. She could hear her sister's voice telling her to wake up, as it was time to go home. Alice realized that she had been fast asleep. She yawned and thought, "Oh my, what a simply fabulous dream I've just had." The end.